The Yemeni resistance and the Iraqi resistance are increasingly having more and more joint operations together, with a recent joint attack on the Haifa port and the new introduction from the Ansarullah in Yemen of the missile Haatem-2, which is a hypersonic ballistic missile. This came just before an announcement, a new statement that came from Abdul Malik al-Houthi, who is the leader of Ansarullah, the Houthi movement, known as the Houthi movement, in which he addressed a few things to do with the developments in the Red Sea. He said that our armed forces carried out 4 powerful operations this week using 7 ballistic and cruise missiles and the destroyer Tufan, a raft that can carry out about 1.5 tons of explosives and cause a huge explosion that causes severe damage to enemy ships. One of the important operations this week was the bombing with the Haatem missile, which is an important missile in the name and deed in every sense of the word. The entry of this missile into the operational line will have major effects. One of the important things that he mentioned as well is to do with the Eisenhower carrier. He said one of the important developments is the departure. So we have Abdul Malik al-Houthi confirming that Eisenhower has departed, and I'm going to get to the reports prior to that. The departure of the defeated aircraft carrier Eisenhower after it received several blows and missile strikes. Eisenhower was fleeing while being targeted towards the Northern Sea and the furthest distance from it. Before the final departure of the Eisenhower, it was targeted and made a very large turn to flee towards the Suez Canal. We say that from now on, the arrival of any new aircraft carrier will become a target for our forces after it enters the Red Sea. If the new aircraft carrier wants to take risks and get involved and get into the predicament that the Eisenhower was in, then let them come and lose. The new aircraft carrier will be exposed to danger due to advanced missile capabilities that cannot be avoided or prevented, God willing. That was in accordance to Abdul Malik al-Houthi in his recent statement. Now, the US officially denied that the Eisenhower was attacked, despite the fact that Ansarullah said that they targeted it over 3 times. We had certain photos that couldn't be verified about the level of impact with the Eisenhower. However, despite the fact that the US did not confirm that Eisenhower was hit, we had multiple reports in Western media and even in Israeli media that Eisenhower now needs maintenance. Personnel on the carrier are complaining because of the length of their deployment and that they need a break. And when we talk about maintenance, you talk about over a year of maintenance, and half of the US aircraft carriers are already in maintenance, while some of the others are deployed in certain key areas. And the US doesn't have an indefinite number, obviously, of carriers. It has the biggest fleet of carriers in the world, but they require a lot of maintenance that could take up to a year or even more. So clearly the impact of Ansarullah is very effective. If it led to the Eisenhower leaving, you're talking about a massive blow, especially to something that the US thought would deter movements in the region.